her father. Just the day before, the girl's father had gone to the Duke's mansion to collect a reward for hunting, but because the Duke's daughter was in a bad mood, she sent her servants to beat him to death, then threw his body in the wilderness. When the girl found him, her father still held the money bag tightly between his teeth, for that money was meant to treat the scar on her face. The girl hugged her dead father in grief, bursting into tears. She begged the judge to punish the Duke's daughter severely. Hearing this, the judge declared that such a cruel woman must be held accountable. He ordered the girl to be arrested for falsely accusing the noble Duke's daughter. The girl tried to defend herself, but just then, the Duke's daughter arrived. Upon seeing her, the girl's anger flared up and she vowed to kill her for sure. The Duke's daughter only looked at her mockingly, ordering to beat her to death and throw into the wilderness too. Under such great power, the girl could not resist at all. She fainted from the pain. Later, a man was searching in the wilderness for a rare herb. It could cure all illnesses, but only grew in decaying environments. Just as he was about to pick it, a cold hand suddenly gripped his. He then saw the girl covered in wounds lying in the grass. Using her last strength, she begged him to save her. When she woke again, the girl found herself in an unfamiliar place. She immediately pulled out her hairpin to protect herself. However, the man calmly told her that her injuries were healed, and she could leave. The girl then noticed that the scar on her face had also vanished. She was delighted, but soon remembered her father was dead and began to cry again. The guard was frightened by her strange reaction. He asked the man if they should send her away from the clinic. Only then did the girl learn that the man was the legendary miracle doctor, highly respected even by the royal family. She knelt down and begged him to help her, for she wanted to become the prince's consort. It turned out that before losing consciousness, the girl had overheard the Duke's daughter mention that the prince she loved had returned. This made her determined to compete for the position of prince's consort, then use the greater power to take revenge. However, what she didn't know was that the man was actually the prince. The prince was deeply regretful for saving such a girl who was so eager for power with his precious herb. He ordered her to get out immediately. Just then, a cry for help came from outside. A pregnant woman burst into the clinic and was suddenly going into labor. But the prince was not skilled in childbirth. He could only send his guard to find a midwife. The girl immediately pushed him aside and lifted the pregnant woman onto the bed. There was no time left to wait. She claimed that she also had rich experience in delivering babies. Hearing this, the prince asked in shock if that was true. The girl had to cover the woman's ears, explaining that she had often helped deliver calves and lambs on her father's farm. The prince nearly cursed aloud. Fortunately, the guard returned with a midwife. Only then did the prince feel relieved. Before he left, he heard the girl say to the woman, "If you feel pain, you can bite my hand." However, those familiar words struck the prince deeply. When he was a child, he was always whipped by the strict empress, and every time this happened, the general's daughter would treat his wounds with herbs. She said that if he felt pain, he could bite her hand, and she would share his pain with him. Later on, she followed the general to the expedition and never came back. The prince had been searching for her whereabouts, never imagining she would turn out to be this girl. But when he saw the girl being bitten and screaming, he immediately dismissed this thought. The girl accused the